Night Attack is brought to you by all of our lovely patrons over at patreon.com/Night Attack. Subscribe today to get the pre-show and after-show early. This pre-show was a doozy, and it's going to continue in the after-show. Also, thank you to Doghouse Systems for powering this show. We're using their great computers, and you could be too. Get yourself a free 500-gigabyte SSD when you get a Doghouse computer at doghousesystems.com/rogue. Use promo code ROGUE, that's ROGUE, at checkout. Get yourself that free hard drive. Our friend ICU put together this previously on video for Night Attack episode 355.
Is somebody calling in? Is there somebody live on the program?
No!
A Christmas miracle?
Is it Santa? You are not ready! The big man is here! 1/3 of his workforce is dead, and so are these hoes! Get him, Santa! Get him!
Yo, the bullets outside, they're frightful. But this bitch on my dick feels delightful.
Wow.
Santa Claus!
I love you.
Listen, dumbass, if you have Diamond Club decide what to tattoo on your face, you're going to wake up with your face looking like an inflatable dinosaur fucking a box.
God damn
Oh, God bless ICU. Hello, you beautiful bastards, you demon hordes of the internet. It is Tuesday night, and that, of course, means it has got to be go time for Night Attack. I'm Bryant Brushwood, live in Austin, Texas, joined as always by my BFF and Noah K. It's JRY, Justin Robert Young. Hey, do you remember when we had Santa rapping last week?
If you are only a audio listener and you did not see that picture of me with face tattoos of a diamond sign and
a dinosaur
Brian's
fucking a box.
I need you. All right, people, get a screen grab of that. Bryce, leave that up while I talk. I want everyone to get a screen grab of that, and I want you to tweet it to me, and it will be my new Twitter avatar by the end of the night. Like, I will make that my Twitter avatar. It is amazing, and one day I hope to make it real.
So there's this weird moment right before we do every episode that we start with the ICU last week on. And there's panic followed by surprise, followed by elation, followed by shame, and then a refractory period. And then I'm ready to start the show. So in exactly 48 seconds, everything happens. What about you?
I mean, you know, we've talked often about the fact that this is a show that we don't remember very quickly after it's done.
Yes.
So it's always just a delight. It's just like, oh, look at that. It's like if every time you hung out with your friends, somebody made a scrapbook. It would be great. It would be amazing.
To an extent, it really would. Hey man, how's your week been? I don't even know where to begin because last week was so amazing. Thank you to two separate people. Number one, Santa Claus, you're the jam.
Yes.
Number two, four people. Definitely Santa Claus.
Lot of lore here that we need to layer.
That's right. Definitely Santa Claus. Definitely an anonymous guest. Hypothetically, Snowers, the Jaded Elf. Hypothetically, Martin Sargent, who I can't wait for a new show with Sarah Lane.
So we did not know about that, for the record, that Santa would announce that Martin Sargent and Sarah Lane are going to do a show. I have not yet started badgering them to tell me when they're coming out with it or when I can be a guest on it, because I will demand to do both. They're two of the best, funniest people that I have ever been around. I mean, Sarah, at least I've actually met. I've actually never really even been in the company of Martin Sargent. You know, Santa seems to have many of his mannerisms, but amazing.
Yeah, it kind of blows my mind when I think about Martin Sargent, not Santa. But he was the reason that Scam School ever came to be. He was the director of comedy at Revision 3, which is the reason that Scam School, pitch ever got listened to. Man, I can't wait.
I mean, honestly, when you think about the genesis of things, right? Like, there's a chance that I never meet Brian if Martin Sargent doesn't think you're fucking good enough to have an internet series, right? Like there is a chance that maybe we would probably know each other because iTrix eventually I knew every magician on the planet, but like especially those that were internet savvy. But that we would be friends, that we would be this, I don't know, maybe not.
Okay, so if we're exploring the alternate reality, I know there was like a brief collision pre-Scam School because I had done the Guile Street Fighter magician action figure thing that had shown up on iTrix.
Oh yeah. I do remember that. Yeah, you did the little, and that was a viral video. I mean, like, so I was an internet blog that all other blogs that were niche, all they did was find viral videos in their own niches. But Magic is so fucking backwards that there was nothing. And Brian does a legit viral video, and that I don't even remember that. Holy shit. Yeah, totally. I think it was like the video of the day or whatever we did.
Yeah. And I didn't know I think we did talk about it. I think you did mention that it did pass through your fingers, but I think it was discovered by somebody else or whatever. And then later when we talked about the launch of Scam School, it was not within the context of being aware that we had already crossed paths at that point.
No. I mean, I remember to this day, my roommate, who is a Revision 3 fan, I think was watching Dignation, and Dignation was like, hey, we got this new show. It's called Scam School. You should watch it. And so he just literally, we're just two, early 20s or mid 20s guys in the same way you would imagine a sitcom, like just scratching our balls in the kitchen. And he's like, hey, there's a magic show on Revision 3. And then just kind of trails off and walks back to his room.
I would imagine Justin says a version of "My job got easier." What?
And then, yeah, basically. No, I had
more.
4 posts a day. And he said that, and I'm like, 3 posts. There we go.
Well, and it probably didn't hurt things that the very first episode there was a air quotes here controversy about ownership rights of this bit that was a Martin Gardner thing from 100 years ago or whatever.
I mean, it certainly made it fast tracked our friendship because this is actually like after show kind of talk, but fuck it, whatever. They're in the magic industry. Everybody is a backbiting fuckwad who are all gripping to whatever tiny sliver of shrinking
talk
power
for best friends who respect each other deeply.
Exactly. But talk the worst shit you've ever heard in your life as soon as that person leaves the room.
Which is magic talk for always believe in magic.
Exactly. So, as somebody who was not from the community that was writing this blog because I just knew how to find news and write about it, I just hit Brian up because apparently there are these people on a message board saying that Brian ripped off the second Scam School trick or the first Scam School trick.
I believe it was the first one. Somebody like there was an early comment that was like, way to rip off or way to tip Daniel Garcia's warning. And then the response was me saying, I'm the one who taught Daniel Garcia that.
So I don't even see that.
Yeah.
I guess I get the same snitches that come to me because, again, in magic, there's far more snitches than there are good Samaritans. And so they come to me and they're like, look at this piece of shit. This piece of shit is fucking ripping off this guy. And I'm like, oh, I had actually, I think as soon as I had heard about Scam School, I had talked to you or at least emailed back and forth with you. And so I'm like, oh, I already have this email relationship with Brian Brushwood. Let me just hit him up and be like, hey, what's up with this? And you were like, funny story. And God, I'll tell you what. In fact, I think you've actually looked it up because I misspelled your name. But like the initial thing, it's like I got the initial hey boss of Brian Brushwood to magic blogger Justin R. Young. And it was just like,
oh, Brian Brushwood.
Story,
it misspells my name.
Oh, Bushwood. Wow.
That's
Holy
amazing.
Shit, didn't I? Wow. Did I misspell your name another different? Did I? No,
No,
because I got you with Brain.
I think that's
the next
very
time.
first one. Yeah.
No. But I emailed you with Brain instead of Brian.
Amazing. I'm gonna
I
type.
think I emailed you with Brain. Brain Bushwood.
You would not be the
never
first.
been my strong suit. This is why, like, I used to always get yelled at when I was on newspapers because I would.
April 7, 2008, Brain Brushwood stars in Revision.
Brain Brushwood. Oh, that's amazing. I don't know why I forgot that. That's incredible.
I would always get yelled at because I would send dirty copy back to the copy desk, and the copy desk would yell at me and be like, "You need to spell check your shit," and I'd be like, "That's why you have a job, though. Your job." So
here we go.
My fucking spelling
4708. I am certain we've explored this before, but Justin Robert Young, a certain email at gmail.com. Hey, Brain. Definitely says Brain.
Same day. You said 4708?
Yep.
Same day.
This is Justin Robert Young from iTricks.com. We're a daily magic news site. First, congratulations on Scam School. The first episode was great. A magic show on Revision 3 is a big deal. This could open up a whole new audience to the industry. We would love to interview you about how the show came together. Do you think that would be possible? Thanks a lot, and congratulations, Justin. And then tomorrow we do the interview. Yeah. The rest is on the record.
Okay, so I did the post and then I immediately emailed you. That's and also I spelled it both times. Brain
and Bushwood. Brain Bushwood. I'm used to it.
But anyway, so people email me and they're snitching on Brian about how he stole some stuff. I actually talked to Brian and Brian's like, "Oh yeah, no, it's totally not that. It's this other thing." I taught the guy who wound up selling the DVD how to do the trick, and then I communicate with him, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, totally. Brian taught me that." And so I think, and this is something that canonically is the moment where I went from a random dude that talks to you to somebody for whom you knew my character was, if not unimpeachable, certainly off to a really fucking good start, was where within the magic industry, I calmed down a fire of you being an exposure guy. And you're like, all right, man.
Well, and because that was my number one fear, right? Because the only analog to teaching magic that we had in a public forum was The Masked Magician, which everybody was fired up, justifiably or unjustifiably so. But the fact that you said, "Hey, how about we all talk to each other? It's me, Justin, a civil individual who doesn't really have a thing to sell you."
Who also met you 3 days ago.
Yeah. Well, do you remember the phrase that resonates with me to this very day?
I do, but I like it when you say,
"Hey, everybody, calm down." Whatever the first part is, I forget. But it's like, they are both viceroys in the kingdom of awesome, which has always echoed in my mind. And that was the moment that at least one of the two keys was turned on our friendship. Like, this guy's all right. And then, of course, later, turns out you're pretty good at Skyping in or Uvuing in on the BB Live show to keep a conversation about magic alive.
Well, no, I mean, really, the next phase was me visiting Halloween Horror Nights
in person.
I was like, in person, yeah, because I think we had done that before we did the BB Live show stuff.
In that case, you were the one who got in trouble for revealing. Did you want to tell this part of the story?
I think I've told it before, but fuck it. So, I am at that point in a relationship, and we had gone up to Orlando. So we're both Florida kids, right? And we go up to Orlando, and I'm like, "Hey, honey, you stay at the hotel. I'm gonna go do this interview down at Universal." And I think she had like come with me into Universal. You might have actually got us in. Wait, did you get us both in? Did you drive us both in?
I don't know, to be honest. I know I got you backstage, and then we played Rock Band out the back of my Chevrolet Pacifica.
It may or may not have mattered because we're from Florida, so everybody knows a free way to get into the parks when you're from Florida. But like, she's there in the park for a little bit, and she's like texting me and being like, "So what's up? Did you do the interview?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I think I'm going to hang out for a little bit." It turns out he's got shows. And so meanwhile, I'm backstage hanging with Brian, and he's got his whole crew, and then he's like doing like the super cool guy move where he just like opens up the back of his fucking Pacifica, and he's got rock band set up. He's got his whole things like all the everything set up, and meanwhile all of his crew knows like all the songs and everything. And so I'm trying to like, okay, I'm like trying to like cool guy my way in, and we do, and it's a great time. We're having a blast. All the characters are fucking getting their makeup made up.
To make clear, like, I felt cool, and from this story, Justin thinks I'm cool. Here's objectively what I understand happened. Brian finished his performance at the Animal Actors stage, walked past a pig rolling in its own shit, and walked back to his Chrysler Pacifica. Bryce, if you could find us a picture of a 2006 Chrysler Pacifica, that might help to shape it. And Brian, being cool as shit with his spikes and everything, says to the editor of iTrix, hey man, you know, between our sets here at Halloween Horror Nights, we like to just kind of chill out and groove a little bit.
The saddest little SUV I've seen in a long time.
By the way, this is the greatest O. Henry story of all time. That Brian fucking thinks that the editor of iTrix is a cool guy, and I think the guy doing a magic show at the Animal Actors Studio is a cool guy. Like we both think that we're scoring right now. Like this is like, oh my god, I can't believe they're into it.
So I saunter on over and I was like, we got a little time to kill between this and my next set. And I open up the tailgate of the Pacifica, and it reveals the same 37-inch 1080p LCD monitor that I have to this very day on our PS4. I think only 4 years old at the time, but there's a big monitor and all of Rock Band, and we pull it out, and without saying a word, I look over, and a dude dressed as an off-brand, definitely reminiscent of, but not copyright legally binding to an alien, walks over, and another dude walks over, you know, looking like The Walking Dead, but not technically The Walking Dead, walks over.
This is pre-Walking Dead.
I believe Walking Dead came out the second run in 2010 because we were doing NSFW when it came out. Yeah. So, but the point is, like, no spoken words. Everyone comes together, and then we're just playing Rock Band. And then it was midway through Justin playing Suffragette City that I was just like, this guy's all right.
So romantic that you remember.
This guy's all right. He's giving it like you were giving it.
No, it was fucking great. So meanwhile, I just keep texting my then girlfriend, and I'm just like, man, he's still doing shows, man. Still doing shows. I'm going to be later. I'm going to be late. And so we do, Brian, we fucking sing songs. Brian does another show. Brian comes back. We do the interview. Brian does another show, if I remember correctly. And then I'm just still hanging out. Now, I have an entire show to decide whether or not I'm going to leave. Spoiler alert to the status of this relationship. It was not long for this world. But I'm like, I'm having a lot more fun here than I would be having a likely argument in whatever motel we were staying in. So I'm like, yeah, let's just hang out. And so we go back to your rental property.
So, okay, this is already, what's funny is when I talked about you getting in trouble, I didn't even mean with your relationship at the time. I meant with Universal for publishing pictures of characters half in and half out of costume, which I don't know where they're at right now, but at the time was like strictly verboten. Like that was next level. You do not do, right?
And by the way, they knew everything about like bloggers from Florida doing some random bloggers from Florida shit, because that's who they wanted to stamp out. So they were like on my shit. I tagged you, and I guess it showed up on Twitter. And so they were like, and by the way, at that point, 7 people are on Twitter. So it's very easy to find when anyone's tweeting about anybody.
So at this point, you've not yet figured out that you're about to piss off Universal. definitely know you're pissing off your girlfriend.
I'm pissing off my girlfriend, yeah.
Then we both retire to the rental house that I'm at.
Yeah.
At which point, you and I together, as a combined force, proceed to piss off my sleeping wife with our infant daughter.
The first time I meet Bonnie is when she comes out with an awoken Josie on her hip. Fucking like
an infant Josie walking out
Josie.
like and she's just like, and she does that thing that you can only truly be half asleep because your eyes can't quite open and you just wave your hand. You're like, would you just
it is like the grace that only Southern women can produce when you have fucking like just absolutely violated their fucking like security in a way that anybody would be like the vulnerability there is off the charts. And it's just her fucking drunk husband and a stray dog that he picked up off the street, like just fucking barking at each other so loud that it wakes up everybody in the house. And that's the first time I meet Bonnie, but she has the grace to just be like, can you guys just be quiet a little bit? Like,
yeah.
And yeah. That was it. And then I went back to the motel, and boy, was my girlfriend pissed.
Oh, you gotta say the phrase. You gotta say the Declaration of Independence that you made.
Well, I mean, what happened very, very, very shortly after was that we broke up, and shortly after that, I have a conversation with Bryant where he basically makes it known that, like, hey, I'm doing these things. They're live streams. I call them live streams. And I have this whole thing set up where you can always call in. And so I just want to let you know that it's always open to you. And so among the first times that I do it, I tell him and everybody that is there to listen that I have broken up with my girlfriend so I could marry the internet. And then Lord knows how much that was actually true based on who I actually married.
There are two phrases that are lodged in my brain. One is I broke up with my girlfriend to marry the internet. The other is there was some dispute about something you and I had done together that was not being appreciated in the spirit in which we intended it. And the other phrase that I spoke was, I mean, the whole show is Florida and Texas fuck. You watch. I mean, what did you expect? Like,
well, no, that was because of the ad situation. Yeah.
But there ain't no ad situation anymore.
Nope, because patreon.com/Night Attack is where you need to go to make sure that you can keep this thing loud, live, and independent. Head on over there right now. Get your custom RSS feed. And by the way, I had a very tech-savvy friend of mine hit me up trying to look for the Night Attack RSS feed.
What?
If you do not know where it is or how easy it is, it's literally on the Patreon page that you get when you become a subscriber. It's right there. Like, it could not be easier. There's no weird place to find it. You don't get it emailed to you. It's right there on your Patreon page. You get an exclusive RSS feed that you enter into your podcast player. Honestly, couldn't be easier.
Hells yeah. And of course, if you are a new pledger or if you up your pledge, you have a chance to randomly be selected to be shouted out in a thing we like to call...
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the Night Attack new Patreon name chant corner hour. It's an hour of...
Oh, hells yeah. I'm not going to mention Neil Fleisch, despite the fact that for, however many times he continues to up his pledge.
Oh my God.
1 penny every week, hoping to be mentioned. Not going to happen, but who I will mention, and I hope it freaks him out. Thank you very much, Tim Smith!
Tim Smith!
Smith. Y'all ready to Tim Smith? And of course, because we are live on Twitch, now's the time that we tell an unbroken 1 minute long story that has nothing to do with any pledges that are coming our way. Justin, tell me about your week.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Brian. You know, it's just like any Christmas week. It's 10:33, and I'm looking at my pocket watch, adjusting my monocle, thinking about these orphans, when all of a sudden, Rock and Roll Martian starts playing on my phone, which of course means that I'm getting a call from my favorite person in the world, Dead Scraper. And I'm like, hey, DS, what's the haps on the crabs, baby? He goes, Jesus, I'm working on some business you couldn't believe. And I'm like, whoa, well, you tell me, break it down. He goes, well, Big Jim 5 has got a little something that's going to blow your mind. He's got a line on something that is going to make you flip your shit. I go, well, geez, that kind of offers a max power to 683.
Nailed it.
And at that point,
you hung up.
He reveals to me what it is, and he goes, hey, it's C. Cranfill. And I said, that's stupid. And hung up.
I'm sorry, Corey. We love you. Who's the bit boss?
Our bit boss is Big Jim 5 with 4,000 bits. Thank you so much. Unconscious B is our sub boss with 5 gifted subs. Thank you.
You just figured out
that's
who's
actually Corey.
Yeah.
That's Corey.
Corey.
Oh my God.
Look
By
at
the
him.
way, thank you to Corey. Corey's the only reason why I definitely have gotten 2 Christmas presents over the past 2 years.
I don't know what you're talking about. Those are genuine gifts that I sent.
I'm just saying that there were never Christmas presents before Corey showed up.
He's a good pair of hands. Hey, Bryce, you got a game for us?
Well, it's the end of the year.
Yeah, no. Yeah, this is. I assumed this was going to be the entire show, but I'm glad that we got some. I'm glad we got some memory
did a little bit of Christmas past. Did a little bit of. Now it's time for Christmas present.
Well, because you want to know what they fucked this up. They used to have a great zeitgeist, and now it's all like super deli.
They've still got lists.
Stuff.
They still have the lists, but
sorry, they is Google.
Google.
The thing is the zeitgeist. They're no longer doing what they're calling the Google zeitgeist, I assume.
It's been called the year in search for a few years now, but
okay.
they still have top 10 lists of the most searched terms, both in overall and in specific genres. This year, if you're on your phone, like they won't show it. They really want to push this little applet on your phone that's like, show me happy stuff or show me heartwarming stuff. But if you're on a computer, you can find it. You can find the top 10
we
list.
want that raw. We want that raw. We want to see really for real what
that
people were searching for.
So you guys want to see the top 10 search results for the year?
Hells yeah, dude. Take us through it.
This is. I'm glad we walked down memory lane in the first segment because this has been one of those things where I predicted. God, this is some long-term booking. I predicted 7 years ago that Brian was in the orbit of our pop culture understanding at the dark side of the moon. I was in my 20s. I was very hip. I knew what the kids were doing.
Know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I was going to eventually become older, and his children would eventually become teenagers, and by osmosis, he would know more about pop culture than I would. Now I find myself in my late 30s. Brian has 2 teenagers. I feel like if my prediction is to come true, you're going to know more about this shit than I will.
All right.
Interesting. Well, let's take a look at number 10. These are the overall search terms, right? The overall search terms. Number 10. PlayStation 5.
Oh, yeah. That's the gift I gave my daughter.
Ooh, that's nice.
So you got one.
Well,
that was a hard get, wasn't it?
Not when your goal is to give a promise.
She got an IOU.
I mean, similar to that first night at Halloween Horror Nights, I gifted you 12 years of an award-winning friendship.
That was the weirdest part. We were hanging out. Bonnie had just yelled at both of us, and he said, shit. To make it up, I'll give you 12 plus years of an award-winning friendship. And I said,
and we'll do it live on the internet, but also record some of it. I don't know, a few albums in there. Some will hit number 1 on Billboard. There, I'm done.
And then he said, and I'm writing down what you're gonna be wearing in 2020 on the New Year's Eve episode. You can see me writing. You can see me writing right now. And I'm putting it in this envelope. And
You've seen this envelope for the past 20 years, haven't you?
That's
right. The PlayStation 5, of course, the new generations of consoles came out just a couple months ago, but there's been a lot of talk about them.
You got one, right, Brett?
Yeah,
I did get
one. What's it like to live in the future, man?
I wish that there were better games for it. I've been playing Cyberpunk, which has been kind of a mess on the consoles.
Is it a bad game?
It's a fine game. I think if you didn't have all the bugs.
Hey! It's just you and me. Keanu Reeves nowhere around.
Gotcha.
If he's here, he's got like an acre and a half to run, which will take him only a good 5 seconds.
I think if it didn't have the glitches and the bugs, we'd be talking about how like a couple of clicks above mediocre this game is. And the fact that it also doesn't look good and it crashes my PlayStation 5 every hour is kind of insult to injury on that. So
that's I mean, like I kind of feel like from afar that this feels like among the biggest like video game disasters that has happened in the last like 5 years. Like, considering how much that game was like nothing but great buzz, like they should have kicked that down the road for another year just to like save the fact like it still would have been super highly anticipated.
Absolutely. Well, not to mention, I'm sure this search term got boosted a little bit the past few weeks after it was just completely removed from the digital PlayStation Store. Every retailer has offered open box refunds, no questions asked. It's a mess, and there you go. That's what you get when you rush a game for holidays.
So, quick question. Look, I'm not here to second guess any of your recommendations, but what do I tell Penny about her Megrams about 13 Sentinels?
So I recommended 13 Sentinels, Aegis Rim on Weird Things a few times. So she has issues with the story. Does she like the gameplay at all? Has she done any of the strategy stuff?
As best I could tell, they're continuing forward through it. They're also playing Persona 5, which it looks like they're enjoying. Also, both games have talking cats. Is that just a known bug in all PlayStation games?
It's a very hot thing right now.
Yeah. Okay. But they are continuing forward on 13 Sentinels. They seem to be picking like favorite and least favorite stories, kind of based principally on whether or not they feel cliche to Penny or not. So she keeps on, like, the moment she sees any overly sexualized discussions among high school or age inappropriate people, she's like, go to the other story. This one sucks. And then
I would say that there's one character who is her proportions are very generous, let's say.
Oh, the nurse.
Yes, the nurse.
I didn't notice that she looked like 5 bubbles called a character.
Wait till you see her in the cat suit.
God damn it.
Yipes.
Other than being drawn rather voluptuously, that's really never ever touched on in the game. And there are high schoolers, and the high schoolers get into romances with each other, but there's not anything I would consider inappropriate romantic.
That's wild. That's crazy that a Japanese game has sexually active high schoolers.
And in fact, she's gonna not like that part in Persona 5 where she can date her teacher as her high school teacher.
That is something that I'm really I don't know if I should or shouldn't be surprised or whatever, but that I definitely have noted is how dialed in on age appropriateness, which I don't know 20 years ago was a big deal in my high school years, 20, 25, 20, 30 years ago.
I kind of feel like in the 90s and the aughts, we were more focused on the inappropriateness of it because you had the what was it? Laterno or whatever.
Lolita.
Like all. Yeah, the Long Island Lolita and shit like that. Like you had these real life stories of teachers fucking students and students
And then
fucking
meanwhile,
teachers. And
the distance between us and that moment, if you go back that far, you have #1 Billboard charted hits about how I'm in my mid-20s and I'm fucking you and you're in your mid-teens. Who cares?
Yeah.
Anyway.
No, exactly. Yeah, I think that now we're just in a point where like there's a very like love is love. This is like a thing that happens kind of moment compared to where we were in the 90s where we're like, whoa, that's fucked up. These people fucking no.
I think we're farther towards the everybody stay in your lane, and your lane is determined by the year you are born until you are 25, at which point your lane expands to up to plus however many years, and then
I don't know.
I think more than well, and maybe I'm more seeing it with my kids or whatever. But
no. I think what your kids are seeing are a reaction because they are like teenagers and they're see the things and react to it, and that's that. I'm uncomfortable. Let's move on.
All right.
Okay, let's take a look at the number 9 search result for the year on Google.com. Of course, it's going to be Chadwick Boseman. Rest in power,
Oh,
Chadwick.
man, how did
By the way, a new movie coming out too on Netflix.
Sorry, say again.
No, his last movie. I think it's like
oh yeah.
I swear to God, if you're about to tell me that we covered this on Cord Killers, this is the part that I remind you. My job is to full on read the teleprompter and keep moving.
Yeah, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom is it came out a week or so ago. Is a kind of historical drama about a jazz trumpet player and a jazz singer, Chadwick Boseman and Viola Davis, respectively, and it's based on a play.
And I've heard he's great in it. Like this is like a defining performance. If the fact that he's very skinny, which I'm sure will remind people of the fact that he, this was his last performance.
Man,
but it's very. I guess I don't know a good descriptor, but the fact that he was keeping his cancer and his treatments hidden or away for so long.
I did want to talk about that. We're on the outside. We don't know how the inside works.
Some people surely knew about it, obviously.
Sure, and I totally understand in a world where quote unquote image is everything or whatever. I understand the need to keep things quiet, but I do find it really remarkable that it was such a surprise to all of us that he was battling cancer for so long and none of us heard anything about it.
Because that stuff leaks out. I mean, we have a paparazzi system around the globe. That stuff.
Well, but it shows you how much of that is kind of manufactured. Like if you want to be Tom Hanks and Rita Wilson, then it's only when your son wants to be rapping in front of the paparazzi that people know you have a weird son, like that. I would say for Chadwick Boseman, the uncomfortable conversation that we have to have is like, this is the other side of like deifying the representation matters element of our society, because he was not just a guy. That guy was the
physical
icon.
Embodiment of
right.
A moment of crossing a threshold for an entire segment of society.
Like him and Michael B. Jordan make that movie. They are ascendant, iconic actors, and Michael B. Jordan will continue to be, but he was on a parallel, if not higher track. And whether or not it's his own personality or if it's pressure from the public's persona on it or some combination of the two, he decides to hide it. And so we don't know until it's too late. And maybe it's a power of positive thinking thing where like he just thinks like, you want to know what? I'll get through it. It's like anything else. Either I'm going to get through it or I'm going to die. And it happens the way it happens.
Well, and it's also one of those things where it's like, you're either going to get through it or you won't. And if you do, you're going to be glad you kept your mouth shut while you went through it. And if you don't, then it won't matter. So it's one of those kind of reductionist.
Because the other thing, though, is it makes him feel like less of a Hollywood ghoul, right? Because you could only imagine that if he was like somebody for whom was a bit of a glory hound, like let's say hypothetically somebody that would come up with a fantasy about paying $500 so they could have a restaurant to themselves.
Okay, but I must not know that it's all to myself. I must be convinced that it was like some membership fee I had to pay. But go ahead.
Let's say hypothetically that he would have made that more on Front Street. He would have announced it from the very moment, right? Or at least he would have had a publicist around him who would have suggested that, and that's a suggestion he might have taken.
I wonder,
but he didn't.
I can't imagine how many dueling pressures there must be for him being in the position that he was, for a role of this prominence with so much cultural significance, also quietly dealing with this battle. And the question of the complication is like, hey, do you want a simple narrative that everyone can get behind, or do you want to complicate this narrative? I can't even imagine. And all that above my pay grade. That's crazy.
Yeah. An iconic actor and somebody for whom in a year where death is something that we are all thinking about more than we would otherwise, it feels even more like the tragic deaths resonate even louder.
Yeah.
Well, that will bring us to our number 8. Naya Rivera. I'm going to guess.
Jesus Christ. Wow. She ranked ahead of Chadwick Boseman, huh?
Yeah.
More searched.
This was well, you want to know what?
No, I understand the face that Brian is making is that the three of us know who Chadwick Boseman is. I'm sure.
I know who Naya Rivera.
Justin knows Naya.
Bryce,
probably because
what about you?
I know of her because I looked this list up the other day.
You know who she is.
Okay, first of all, if this is like a tricky porn name thing, then fuck you. I'm not pretending to not know. Okay, all right.
She is the one of the cheerleaders from Glee.
She was on Glee, right?
Oh, is this an untimely death thing?
Yes, she had a very tragic passing. She explained very quickly she was in a lake.
I don't know why every year we forget. It's like they're all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah.
That's the spoiler alert on this list every single year. God damn it.
Yeah, she was at a lake with her son, and she drowned, and her son was missing for a couple of days. So rest in power to Naya.
Yeah.
Not much to contribute.
Not much commentary here.
Not much on that one. All right, let's move on to number 7.
Is this the point where we realize every year we shouldn't do this?
Yes, every year. Every year we go through this. We're like the Groundhog Day of Groundhog Days.
Number 7. Who is winning the election?
There we go, and we're
the
back.
answer is not you.
Back.
Clap
and
emojis.
We're back.
None of you are winning.
Justin, as a career political commentary, unprecedented handling of the election by the federal government here, I would say. Craziest thing in the world, or the craziest thing that has ever happened in the history of the universe?
I don't even know that it's the craziest in our lifetime. Compared to if you were following during Bush v. Gore, that shit was legit crazy. This shit is fake crazy.
Oh, you want to know what? I agree with both sides of this argument. You're right.
You're
right.
You're right that it is
completely a facade.
Both sides had a legitimate argument.
Yes.
That is not the case here. It is insane that somebody's trying to false equivalency their way into saying that shit was legit fucking bonkers.
I've said this a million times. My origin story comes from two things. Number one, the Clinton impeachment. The fact that the Star Report was printed in full in a special insert into the Fort Lauderdale Sun Sentinel. And I took that to school, and I'm sitting down on the floor reading about blowjobs, and teachers are coming by as I'm reading the Star Report, and they're like, "Hey, good job. You're really staying in touch. That's great to see that young people are connecting with modern times." I'm like, yo, there's dick sucking in this. Like, I get credit for that. I get credit for reading about dick sucking.
Teacher leans over and says, like,
thing ever.
Look at you learning Latin words like analingus. Good for you.
So that's the first part. And then the world explodes literally right outside my front door in Florida, because Palm Beach is about 20 miles away from where I grew up. Those were the elements. But you're right, Brian. That was an actual electoral
confusion.
thing. And like an insanely close election. Like razor thin.
Like all parties had legitimate grievances. It was a statistical dead heat. It was a coin flip, shrug of shoulders as far as who would win. It was decided along party lines in the judiciary. It was definitely Ralph Nader's fault that one president won or lost. It was definitely the layout of the butterfly ballot.
That ballot was really badly designed.
Right? Like every side had a legitimate point to make. I
mean, yes. When you get down to the fact that one county decides an election, you can shine a very, very bright light on the fact that our elections are this bizarre patchwork of a bunch of electorally motivated people making rules.
Like there probably won't be a comedy movie made in the wake of the 2020 election where a president pretends some Joe Schmo is in an election and pretends to like not accept the results. But there were like, how many movies did they make that were basically like kind of about the Bush core?
Yeah. No, there were a bunch. I mean, there should be comedies made about this one because this one is far more comedic. I mean, this is basically the same electoral difference as it was in 2016, except the other way. Granted, there were things that were different about this election than there were in the past, but it is what it is. At a certain point, you just got to eat the L, and that's that. But yeah,
also
we
judging
do not have
from
somebody
the chat,
that wants to do that.
Judging from the chat, I apparently need to clarify that when I say all sides have a legitimate point, that doesn't mean all sides are right. That just means everything is bullshit, and there's enough noise that because everybody has a legitimate case to be made, that doesn't mean they're all right or all wrong.
Well, yeah. I mean, and also it's like the New York Times, the Palm Beach Post, the Miami Herald, and the Sun Sentinel all got together and actually recounted every vote in Florida, and Bush won. So the ultimate result was what would have happened if you had actually counted every single vote. It was just very loud and very, very close. It was insane.
That was one of the first times that I ever truly. So you can hear a thing as true and you can provisionally accept it as true, but until you see it with your own eyes, it's not true. And that goes for everything from algebra to calculus to physics and everything. For me, media bias, the idea that MSNBC was left-leaning and Fox News was right-leaning, I didn't see until the back and forth during Bush v. Gore, when it came down to the actual animations that were shown to explain a dimpled chat, a hanging chat or whatever. Whereas like Fox News, very clearly was just like, I don't get it. This is dumb. I don't get it all. Whereas MSNBC bothered to create a computer generated, graphic of like, look, here's a stylist trying to punch through, but failing, but they clearly were trying for it or whatever. I don't know. That felt like a bit of an awakening in terms of,
And that was, by the way, when you say MSNBC, you do not mean MSNBC as it is today. You mean MSNBC as it was back in 2000, which was the Microsoft NBC News
cooperative
conglomeration.
But before they I believe this was pre, what's his name? The guy from Sports Center.
Olbermann. Olbermann came Keith in Olbermann, with Sir, resign, sir.
Right. I watched that guy from the 60s who I'm doing an impression of, but the comedy podcast host can't remember.
Edward R. Murrow Upal-Payuka.
That guy. That's who I'm doing right now, not Rush Limbaugh, even though I'm doing Rush Limbaugh's voice.
Although, by the way, I mean, like talking about 2020, that might be the end of old El Rushbo.
Well, he definitely seems to have like whatever he has will be with him
inoperable
to the
terminal
end.
stage 4 cancer,
Yeah.
for which he said, "This is my last broadcast of 2020," and many are suspecting that is the.
Wow.
Wow.
Oh, well, okay, number 6. Zoom.
Oh my God.
Big year.
Big
That
year
was
for
my-
the worst fucking software on the
talk
planet.
about how much Skype fumbled the bag? How much
Major.
did Skype fumble the bag?
Major.
Okay, so before we break that down, my favorite meme of all of 2020 was a Reddit one that says it was the mystery gang saying, "Well, let's see who's behind this pandemic," and then they pull off the mask and it's just Zoom.
Skype has all of the things that Zoom has and wants in their software, and they're also not like a on its face shady, unsecure, insecure, piece of software and company. Skype is fucking Microsoft.
Yep.
If Microsoft just said, "Hey, we got all of these things. You want to share screens? You want to have 1 million people in a voice call? You want to just do audio?" Yeah, like all of these things were ripe for Skype's taking, and once again, they have just completely ignored
2020
a huge
is the
audience.
year that the bill came due for Skype. Like after 15 years of at first everybody using them being the only thing, everybody knew what Skype was, everybody knew they could trust it. Microsoft bought them, refused to invest anything in them, continued to have the crappy ducking issues and all that stuff. Like, the only thing we knew as the pandemic hit in 2020, we didn't know what else was out there, but we all knew that we fucking hated Skype. And I'm convinced that is why Zoom won the lottery.
And it's like Zoom's not good. Zoom's not good. I mean, just
No.
But Microsoft wants you to go to Teams, and because Teams is part of 365, and they want you to buy the enterprise stuff, and it's bizarre, man. Don't use Zoom. It is really insecure.
No, but you have. I mean, like people use it, and so like honestly, so. When I'm trying to book stuff for PX3, right? Mm-hmm. And I like have told people like, "Hey, we usually record on Skype." It's another 2 emails if I want them to get on Skype. If I just say, "Hey, we do recordings on Zoom," they're like, "Cool." But I just send them a link and they show up. For whatever reason, they won the war. And I don't know why.
And you can do that in Skype. You can make that's the other thing. That's a feature that Skype has had for a decade. Send people a link, but they want Teams. The worst. Teams is so awful.
Justin, I think you were off camera when I said it. It's like going into 2020, we didn't know who we did like, but we knew for sure we all hated Skype. And then 2020 was the year the bill came due.
I mean, but also it's like we hate Skype the way that everyone hates their wife. Like, like wow. we're still here. Like we still love them. If we hated them, like we would have left. But like we're literally doing this show on Skype right now. Yeah. Like podcasters like us, like when I do all my other interviews on Zoom, when I talk to Scott Johnson, when I talk to Tom Merritt, like I have over the past 3 weeks, how do I talk to them? I just hit them up on Skype because I know they're going to be on it. I know that I'll be able to call them on it. I know that everything's working fine. But for whatever reason, they fucked it up.
They did. Speaking of fucking it up, number 5 on the Google year in search, coronavirus symptoms. In fact, I'm going to fold this into number 4.
Let's go. Yeah.
Coronavirus update.
Man. That's a weird moment, getting the coronavirus. And
yeah. So can we unpack this a little bit?
Sure.
We start doing Night Attack Happy Hour because all of a sudden everybody is at home.
We're all in jail, basically. And you rightly figure out that if we're all in solitary, we're going to go crazy. So let's do something to keep you and me sane, and also the community, and give all of us a place where we can relax our tight, rigid comedy standards, just a little bit, and have, discussions that maybe aren't funny all the time. Yeah, we started that in March or April?
I would say probably March, right?
The first happy hour is listed as March 30th, 2020, just at the tail end.
Look at that.
When did you get the virus?
Mid-September, late September. Man, I'll bet somebody can dig up the tweets where I mentioned going and getting the dog.
Somewhere between the 10th and 12th.
Maybe a little bit afterward, I think, but
okay. Not before the 12th and after the 10th.
Wait,
on
why?
September.
Why? Oh,
I don't know.
Not okay.
Is there something important about?
There's nothing happened in between those days.
Oh,
I mean, you are Mr. 9/11. So
that's okay.
I don't know if it'd be on brand.
It would have been around September 29th.
Yeah. And then then I got sick, and then wow, how about that?
From licking the dog, right? Are you on team you lick the dog?
No. I think we ended up
dog?
being firmly convinced that it was a poorly sanitized gas station on the way to Waco and back. It was the one spot. Both of us got out. Both of us peed. Both of us got the bug at the same time and all that stuff. We did the family that we got the dog from never had it. They didn't have it before us. They didn't catch it after we were there. So there weren't enough vectors for it to be anything other than just one gas station on the way to Waco. Wait, what? What are you doing? What does that look?
I'm just saying, I'm just, as your friend, I feel like I'm an honorary member of the Brushwood family.
Possibly.
I don't trust that dog breeding family, and I never have.
Oh,
from any version of this story. I don't trust that they said they never had it. I don't trust that they would tell you if they had it.
They didn't send you a screenshot, did they, of their My Chart?
All I know is that my moral obligation ended the moment Bonnie did more than I would have done, which is bother to notify them that we now have COVID. Out of courtesy of we might have brought it to you. We have it. Good night.
And that was good for I think that everything happens the way it needs to happen. And so I would like to say right now, totally reckless, irresponsible speculation on the part of Justin Robert Young and only Justin Robert Young. I don't trust that family.
All right.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Let's move on to the...
It is a legitimately better story if you consider the possibility that I preserved on photo me infecting myself with the coronavirus by snuggling with the dog.
Scientifically possible. More scientifically possible based on how we know the virus spreads.
I mean, except for the fact that... who knows?
Saying.
All right, number 3 in the Google year in search is going to be the King, Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant.
Wow, does that seem like 3 years ago? I can't believe that happened this year.
Question, can we place a bet? Is it possible that not even on the top 10 is two? I got 2 bets to place.
Okay.
Does it, there are only 2 slots left.
Yeah.
In or not in, Harvey Weinstein, Trump impeachment. Both.
Well, Trump impeachment actually happened this year.
So did
Harvey
the sentencing.
Weinstein, nothing.
He got sentenced to 23 years this year.
I mean, yeah, I definitely think that Harvey Weinstein definitely isn't going to be there. But I would also agree with you. I don't think the impeachment isn't going to be there either.
Well, Brian says... So, Brian, do you think they both will be?
I agree that Weinstein will not be there. I think impeachment will be there. I think it'll be number 2. I don't know what number 1 is.
Okay. You guys want to take a look at number 2?
Yeah.
Wait, what was the third one?
Kobe Bryant.
Oh yeah. Sad.
Not on the list. The attack from Iran onto the American embassy.
By the way, did you? There's a new report today that Kobe Bryant was thinking about leaving Nike to start his own shoe brand.
Wow.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that, World. World, why you got to be like that?
Let this man
don't
sleep.
do that.
Let him sleep.
I mean, I'm just I'm not saying.
Do you think Tiger King is one of the top twos?
It might be. It might be. Hold on, wait. Let me clean this fucking mess that I just spilled in the bar real quick. I'm not saying that Nike killed. I'm not saying that Nike killed Kobe Bryant.
That bitch Carol Baskin took out Kobe Bryant.
Carol Baskin.
Yeah.
No, yeah. No, I don't think that that happened. But although it does seem, I mean, at least by the report that I read today, it rings true that anybody would think, oh, if you're that rich, you can employ the exact same factories in China that make those shoes, and if you have the right branding experts, you can do your own thing.
Oof.
But you would need a global superstar to
Yeah.
All right. Let's check out number 2 here. The Google Year in Search. Stop me if you've heard this one before. Coronavirus.
God damn it!
Coronavirus.
I mean,
the last
so
regular...
overwhelming it has been on the culture. It does not surprise me. It's on this list 3 different times.
I mean, how weird that kind of our last regular episode of Scam Nation Scam School featured a big old thumbnail of the coronavirus as I contracted not the coronavirus, but a nasty virus.
Bad flu or something.
Yeah, because I put my mouth on a fucking public bar. Do not recommend.
Yeah. And like even made a coronavirus joke in that episode.
Moment,
Like we still have an episode that we shot at that day.
Oh God, we've
with
got to go
bachelor,
back. Like the bachelorette party where like somebody randomly
comes up to David Rowan and kisses him on the lips,
on the mouth.
Yeah.
Like makes out with with David Rowan in the middle of the like we're like, well, that sure. What is the world gonna be flipped upside down?
Look at that.
Well, this is definitely not the last time these kinds of things happen.
God, that would be so crazy. I kind of really want to take a look at that footage and just release it naked.
Dude, you guys should build it up. You should build it up like this is like a time capsule of the world that was.
Oh my God, that would be great. All right, you ready for number 1?
Ugh.
All right, Brian, what do you think?
What do you guys
Tiger
think?
King?
Not Weinstein. It's either
that
Tiger
bitch
King.
Carol Baskin.
It can't be Trump impeachment. That feels like so much less than coronavirus.
No, God, no, nobody cared about.
It didn't even make the top 10.
It didn't happen.
Didn't even make the top 10.
I mean, again, I think I've even said this on this show, but I was in a bar in Des Moines, Iowa, as the Iowa caucus was getting totally fucked up. We had no results the night that all of the media was there in that state. And I was saying to a friend of mine, Kevin Ryan, a feature story, I was like, hey, this is the biggest story of the year, and we're right here. And then we were so happy with each other, and then fucking totally forgot. Totally blown off. Bullshit. No one even thinks about it. And by the way, at that point, while I was in Iowa, I was telling another friend of mine, JD Durkin the Cheddar, I was like, hey, nobody's going to remember the impeachment from the Iowa caucus that everybody forgot.
Okay, so stealing this one from Bad Weave in the chat, I'm going to say some version of The Mandalorian. It's going to be The Mandalorian.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, Mando over Tiger King, huh?
Yeah.
No, I would go Tiger King. If it is a streaming thing, it'd be Tiger King because that has more subscribers.
Keep in mind, part of the reason I'm going with it is that one of the stories we covered on Cord Killers was top 20 franchises, and Tiger King was not among them, but Mandalorian was number 1. So,
but also people are pointing out that we've had no BLM, we've had no George Floyd.
Yeah, but also we have had both of those in years before, and I don't know that.
I'm going to put my money on George Floyd. I'm putting my money on George Floyd.
Okay. Brian saying Mando, Justin saying George Lloyd.
Yeah.
Floyd.
Floyd. Excuse Oh
Floyd,
my God.
Floyd, yeah.
Jesus Christ Almighty.
Yeah, remember his name.
Yeah, exactly. Also, or it's wet ass pussy.
Let's take a look. The number 1 year in search result is dinosaur fucking a box. Wait, no, that's not. That can't be right. Oh, wow. Well, play me off. Wow, can you believe it? And such a late cover.
It's about time we started gimmicking this fucking dumb shit.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
The boring answer for number 1 is election results.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh.
A tough year for the year in search, but
I mean, yeah, dude. Yeah,
Let's start fucking with it. Bryce, congratulations. Next year, you have full license
Yeah.
to
Next year,
editorial
consider yourself the dinosaur fucking a box.
Yeah.
Well, practicing now. Here's, I don't know. Do you want to look at some other interesting search results? Or do you want to go to?
What else
Sure,
you got?
of course.
What do you think the number 1 definition search was?
Something. It's not
Definition?
coronavirus, right?
Definitions, like definition of a word.
It's not coronavirus.
That
it's
bitch
not.
Carol Baskin?
It's not coronavirus. I can tell you that.
Definitions. This year. Social distancing.
All right. Brian says social distancing. Justin.
Ooh, quid pro quo.
Yeah.
Quid pro quo. Oh,
No, I'll go with WAP.
All right. Number 5 was asymptomatic. Number 4 was pandemic. Number 3 was antebellum. Number 2 was entanglement. And number 1 was that wet ass pussy. WAP. Number 1. Yeah.
Sorry.
Get a bucket and a mop for this
some
wet ass
ass
definition.
For those of us who are parents of 17-year-olds, how did this version of WAP become WAP?
WAP. It was like the number 1 song of the year from Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion, entitled WAP, which stands for Wet Ass Pussy. And it was a huge thing.
That's so weird. Like, I am an old man, and seeing that, I would think of the dumbest, most obvious, dirty phrase that it could be short for, and then I'd be right.
It was also number 1 in the lyrics genre over The Box and Godzilla. What? Okay.
Over the box. And Godzilla. Godzilla fucking the box.
Oh, here's one. TV shows.
Go on. The TV.
The television. What do you guys think was number 1?
I'm saying Tiger King's number 1.
I'll stick with Mando.
He's gonna stick with Mando. Okay. TV shows. Number 5 was The Queen's Gambit. Number 4 was The Umbrella Academy. I'm always surprised to find out that movie's that show's popular.
I'll tell you what, there is a weird cultural resonance to the My Chemical Romance people. They are. I swear to God, they're gonna be our generation's Grateful Dead. Like, they're gonna start touring again, and they will just, like, people will follow them around. There's some weird connection between them and their fans.
What was their contribution to this particular property?
He's one of the actors.
Homeboy. No, he wrote it. Gerard. What's his butt?
Gerard Way.
Gerard Depardieu wrote the comic that then the show was based on.
G-Dog.
I didn't even know that. Number 3 was Ozark. Number 2 was Cobra Kai.
Hold on, you're just gonna blow past the, like, how is Ozark the sleeper monster of the past few years?
3 seasons in too,
right? Because I believe it was number 5 in the top 20 franchises in that thing that we were talking about before.
Because you want to know what? Breaking Bad went away. The Americans went away. There was nothing else. Like everybody was hooked on this like suspense drama drug, and everyone else was shutting down, and they were the only game in town, and they reaped the benefits.
Number 2 was Cobra Kai, which feels surprising because all the news about moving to Netflix and having that new season kind of come out of nowhere was pretty late in the year.
Am I hearing right? By the way,
so was Queen's Gambit though. Like Queen's Gambit, like coming from out of fucking nowhere, not being a franchise or a bingeable thing beyond like the 5 episodes they had. Like
I heard season 3 of Cobra Kai not great.
I have heard no opinions.
Let me put it this way: my force-fed algorithmic news feed had the headline, "Third time's not the charm for Cobra Kai."
Oh, interesting.
Are you asking for Merrill to call in? Because he will.
Brian, the thing about why it's good. All right, and the number 1 was obviously Tiger King.
Yeah. No Mandalorian?
All Netflix.
Carol Baskin.
Top 5 are all now Netflix.
Yeah, all right. I smell a rat.
No, because they got the numbers, man. Like that, like they're television now. How wild is that? That was all of television?
Yeah.
That was the top 5
nuts.
of television. In fact, we can
No, This Is Us. No Sunday Night Football.
No network. No prime
like,
time. No Saturday Night Live. No.
I don't know All American or The Last Dance, but number 6, Little Fires Everywhere, is Hulu. 7, Outer Banks is Netflix. Ratched and number 8 is Netflix. I don't know All American in number 9 and The Last Dance in number 10, which is the ESPN Netflix Michael Jordan documentary.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
So that was, wow. I'll tell you, I would have expected The Last Dance to be higher because that was like all sports fans had at that moment. There was no live sports unless you were watching Bundesliga soccer in fucking Europe. Like all they had was like Sunday Sports Center was turned into a podcast about this documentary we just watched.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was insane, and that was only 10. That's nuts.
This is crazy.
Sorry, I just got a text from Merrill Barr that says, "Credit me with saying whatever you want." Okay, I guess he hated it.
All American is on TV. It is on the CW. A CW show.
CW is the only one that made it into the top 10. Holy cow!
On broadcast.
I know. Wow. Okay, I think that's pretty much some of the best ones here.
Wow.
But hey, good year, everybody. We made a.
Take that back. It's not a good.
Not a good year. And technically, we still got a couple days. So.
Yeah. Also,
it could always get worse.
So can we buckle up for 2021 not being a light switch that flicks and suddenly everything's fine? Like let's buckle in for if we're lucky.
By the way, remember 2 years ago when we're like, David Bowie died, worst year ever. Like, and all we've gotten is a bigger shit sandwich every year. So how about this? We get better at eating shit sandwiches. That's all I'm asking for. Let's imagine 2021 is worse than the year we've gone through, and let's be better at dealing with it as opposed to curling into a fetal position and pretending it's going to end any moment.
Yeah,
that's
cut off our tongues.
Only thing I want.
Come on, you and me right now. Let's cut off our tongues.
I don't know how that involves us being better than being in a fetal position.
You won't have to taste the shit when you eat the shit sandwich.
Oh, you're doing a literal thing. Okay, gotcha. Yeah. No, I'd still rather have my tongue.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'd taste shit.
Keep
That's
doing
fine.
the show this way. Yeah, good point.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, otherwise,
Oh, goodness.
Wouldn't be good.
No, it wouldn't be good to listen.
It would sound like if we cut off our tongue.
Diamond time.
That's right, Justin. Diamond time is where you can shout in your projects. Head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub. You'll see a big old sticky post right at the top, and top 3 we're gonna shout out right now.
Eli X Perth in Twitch chat here is a big shout out from Mike TV. Thank you for not only coming in with that big show of support during his Twitch front page stream last Wednesday, but the love you've given Mike all year long, Brian and Justin and Bryce, and more or less everyone in Diamond Club. If you fly the diamond, this one's for you, baby. Wicked Guitar. Happy New Year, Mexico City. P.S. We got a little looky look at one of Mr. Television's Patreons at patreon.com/getsetgo. You might find a public pose with a Christmas present under the tree, a work in progress version of Mike TV Plus Chat album, and PPS. Track 5 is all about the flaming shots.
Ooh.
And track 2 is about the Dino Lovin' Anthem everybody's been waiting for. That is from Ochkotonop's Princeps.
He likes Perth in the chat.
Hells yeah. Big Jim 1 writes in saying, I hate to do this right before the New Year's, but I need to ask my DC family to help out some kids. Max Berry was a percussion instructor at my high school where he met his wife Amy. They got married, had 2 beautiful children. We're still not sure what happened directly, but both parents are now deceased. Oh no. And the children are staying with their grandparents, but they need help, even if it's just a few dollars. They'd like to ask for some support for them as they start this new year without parents. Sorry to tug at the heartstrings, and it's GoFundMe.com. Family in need after tragic loss of both parents. Dashes instead of spaces. Short version bit.ly/BERRY kids KIDS 2020.
Yeah. By the way, at the time of this recording, they are only $1,000 away from hitting.
Double their goal.
They're over. To double their goal. That would be amazing if that could happen. If you guys are, got a little scratch in a very, very hard year, then please go ahead and hit that up. And finally, Samurai85X says, thanks to Brian, Justin, Bryce, and Bonnie for keeping me sane and giving me a reason to laugh. And thanks for creating Happy Hour. It's been a wonderful addition to the feed, and I hope it never goes away. Hope 2021 is a big year for the show and for everybody involved and treats you better than 2020 did. Well, Jesus, man, he's not even looking for anything. He's just giving good tidings.
Hells to the yeah. So real quick, I want to bring this up since we're talking about community stuff here. Somebody hit me up on Twitter. Let me make sure. I think it was Shodan Kid. Did you happen to see this tweet where hold on, let me read it correctly.
I've got it up here.
Okay, great. So Shodan Kid on Twitter says, my friend doesn't know the names, so she just described the cast of Night Attack show as follows. There's 1, nice little nerdy kid, 2, Bonnie's husband, and 3, loud but hot guy.
I like that I got top billing on this.
You did.
The funniest thing.
I like that there's no mystery about where I am because I'm almost certain neither of you are married to somebody named Bonnie.
Well, that was a delight.
Another win for Hot Rob.
It was amazing.
We should make this.
I forgot
Hot Rob. Yes, from Weird Things. Hot Rob. We should make this the Night Attack Show Twitter profile pic for a week.
That's so great.
Of course, if you would like to shout out your project, head on over to diamondclub.reddit.com or reddit.com/r/diamondclub. Sticky post at the top of the page. Top 3 get read each and every week.
Hot men are on the case. And meanwhile, we're going to take a look at our mail sacks.
Let's do that. Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
Oh, the Diamond Club. That sounds grand.
What? Okay, all right. Just throwing it out there. Maybe mix it up. Surprise us with the original clip, but also double surprise us with the Stossel at the end of the original clip.
A third version of the clip.
I'm just saying,
No. Number one, there is a change we can make at this point.
I was going to say, could we? Do you want to maybe just try? I think we might be on the same wavelength, Justin. Do you mind if I do a little bit of live VJing here?
Yeah.
Join us for drinks in the Diamond Club.
In the Diamond Club? That sounds grand.
God damn it. Fuck you guys.
What?
This is Stossel with you. Fuck all of you.
What? This is the part of the show where we read your emails that you send into mail at nightattack.tv.
Shut up! I'm laughing.
Oh shit! Straight to the high thoughts.
That's right. You guys sent in some high thoughts, and we've got some high thoughts for you. Do you think shampoo is short or shampoo?
No. Wait, hold on.
Oh, high thoughts. Lights for Justin. Oh,
damn.
Shampoo.
I do.
Here's another one. Brushing your teeth is mouth masturbation.
No, it's not. Your teeth don't go number 3.
No, only if you love hygiene.
No. Even then.
Even then, you're using an external tool.
That's like saying wiping your butt is like masturbation.
I don't think using a dildo on yourself is masturbation, which is why I don't agree with this high thought.
Yeah, even if it's a dildo made of
whoa,
sodium
hold on.
lauryl sulfate.
Wait, you don't think using a dildo on yourself is masturbation?
I don't think that's the part of it that makes it masturbation.
Also, I will have you know that adding an echo does not give you credibility, sir. Please sit down.
Wait a minute.
Mr. President, I'm sorry.
On
Your
yourself
time is
not
up.
Become masturbation.
The other part of the thing with your dick, the thing that you do with your dick or
Mr. President,
other
Mr.
genitalia.
President, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were in such a male-focused version of this question.
We all have buttholes, Mr. President.
Oh, okay. You know what? See, for the ladies, I feel like, depending on how you use it, would be. I'm not qualified to be talking about.
No, if you ain't coming, you ain't masturbating. That's right, I said it.
Wow, big shot.
If you ain't coming, you're doing it wrong.
If you ain't coming, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
All right, here's another one.
Yeah, that's right.
Go.
That's right. Hey, man.
Big masturbation boss, Brian Brushwood.
No matter how much echo you add, no matter how many lights you flash, Mr. President, you will not be winning over hearts and minds.
I'm not adding the echo. You're echoing too. So
first of all, it's not hearts and minds, it's hard on and blinds, because we're masturbating over here. Fuck you, Mr. Prez. Mr. Jizz.
Some of us masturbate with the blinds up.
Here's another high thought. Everything is an edible if you eat it and feel funny afterwards.
That's stupid.
No,
Some of them are stupid. Some of them are stupid.
Stupid. Sorry, everybody.
Some of them are stupid.
Let's see. Here's one. Do you realize we're nothing more than a brain? Our bodies are just the vessel.
I don't even know if we're a brain.
You think there was like a crystal in there?
No, I think I think we're simulations in a vat.
Oh, you think the dream pod kind of existentialism? Well, here's another one that might give some.
No, but come on, Brian. You've often talked about the idea that like our brains are really making the calls and our bodies are whatever the result is.
Yeah, that's Jonathan Haidt talks about it in The Righteous Mind. He talks about what we perceive as moral righteousness is the equivalent of somebody who's directing an elephant. He perceives himself as in charge, but it's really mostly the elephant deciding to take the obvious path in front of it. And there's really not much the guy can do one way or the other. So likewise, like a child king, what we perceive as our conscious mind, I'm glad the high thoughts music is still going. What we perceive as our conscious mind or as our self, the homunculus inside that is piloting our bodies, is really just reacting to and justifying, rationalizing after the fact all the decisions we make. And we see this in fMRI experiments where people are told to trigger a button or press or flip a switch whenever they feel like it, and they report watching a clock when they perceive they made the decision. And universally, before they make the decision, the fMRI reveals brain activity deciding before they consciously acknowledge that they're deciding, now I want to do it. So they are the rider on the elephant. That's my high thought.
It's a good high thought. I'm glad we pressed.
fucking Texas, will you legalize weed so we can make this fucking official?
By the way, you have a very short drive to Oklahoma, where it's apparently like the best weed selling state in the nation.
As it's about to be, Coklahoma.
Oh,
I don't know if they're willing to make that.
You're thinking of Coke again.
Legalize medical cocaine.
Can we please recognize them for doing a thing that is so un-Oklahoma? Like that they became this like great weed selling state. We have to skip right to like, no, Oklahoma. They have to all be running rails.
Here's one. The robot dance stereotype. How it depicts robots as movement with less resolution than a human has. That's all that robots are. Humans with less resolution.
Also, lack of brains. Also,
A CPU.
To our whim.
Random access memory. Read-only memory.
Brian, I feel like you need to engage more with the spirit of this segment. Like you're doing a lot of like very like yucking, and we need more yumming.
We need the yums.
Even the dumb ones, because some of these are dumb. But you gotta enjoy them in the spirit in which they're offered, which is high as fuck.
Okay. All right.
Like here's one.
All right, hold on. Let me at least turn off the lights.
Okay.
I should have never turned the fucking
It
lights
was
on.
too much of a visual gag.
Got
it. It's on the right side. There you go.
I'm almost done.
That was also your fill light, so that's not gonna be much of it. Okay, here we go. Oh, it's yellow. Oh, look at that yellow. Okay. Hey, there's. All right. Here's a high thought for you.
All right.
Potatoes are the lobster of the vegetable world. We cook them alive.
Oh my God. Number one, this is 100% right, but for the wrong reasons. Like, yes, we do cook both of them alive, but also because did you know that lobster used to be so plentiful and so ubiquitous and so easy to harvest that it was viewed as the lowest tier food?
Yeah.
And
Sea
there would be
bugs.
like yeah, exactly. Like there would be like no lobster, full stop. Which also racistly, my people, 1/3 of my people, the Irish, also, viewed as a easy to grow, cheap vegetable.
The potato.
Yeah.
Ah.
And the lobster.
And the Oh.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm in the high thoughts mode. I'm taking
No,
everything.
sorry,
as
I'm
it
just
comes.
trying to
Taking it
prove.
step
I'm
by
trying to say yes and, but no.
Here's one. Ever notice that Brian is starting to look like Prince Valiant with that hair?
Oh, I have.
Shit, God damn it. Now I'm gonna have to see what Prince Valiant looks like.
I mean, it looks like you. Like, you ain't ever looked in the mirror?
No, but I don't know what the name looks like.
Prince Valiant kind of looks like the berries and cream guy.
Yeah.
That is a cream. But you don't have the bangs. You don't have the bangs.
Okay, so true fact, I was trying to keep this one quiet. Before I cut my hair, I'm gonna do full on bangs.
You're getting oh my goodness. Okay.
Right?
All right, so wait.
That's the most punk
cut?
rock thing I
Bowl
could do.
Cut?
No. Just like full on bangs. Like style it up, just the girlest Veronica Belmont bangs.
Ooh, good luck with that.
To what end?
To the joy of those who truly respect me.
So, but like you got to do like a bit for it, right? Like you got to like have like what's like the coolest Bangs character that you could like do a scene of
Albus
or
Scanson.
like do an episode. No. Come on, someone that people know.
Mr. Burke says He-Man. Did He-Man have bangs?
Yeah, he did.
Oh yeah, he did.
Actually,
yeah.
technically, I believe Prince Valium or Prince Adam.
No. Prince Valium with the Spaceballs parody.
Yeah, sorry, Prince Valiant. No, Prince Adam.
All right, here's a final high thought for you. In Europe, they be like, give them 2.54 centimeters and they'll take 1.60 kilometers.
That's good. 100% behind this one. That is an accurate.
That's a great high thought.
That's a great high thought.
That is an amazing high thought.
It is great because it is definitely demonstrably true, but also a unique perspective that quite likely only would be possible while you're high.
Thank you to all of our high thought heads sending in high thoughts to mail at nightattack.tv. And we'll read them here in the portion of the show, which is what this has been.
Yeah.
High thoughts.
Go to our OnlyFans, onlyfans.com/high THOTS.
That's still, some would argue that's still OnlyFans.
Yeah.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay. I'll turn on this. No, I won't.
Just
I'll
end the show. I can turn the lights on if you need.
No, that's fine. Justin, what did we learn this week?
Well, Brian, we learned that we became friends because of a magic blog.
Yeah. We also learned that turns out coronavirus rather important in the year 2020.
We learned that Tiger King is still on the lookout for that bitch Carol Baskin.
We learned that the CW is the single most important broadcast network in the year 2020. That's a real statement I just said.
We learned that high thoughts are something that became more popular during the holiday season.
Most importantly, we learned that we'll see you next Tuesday.
Die in a fire!
Our bit boss with 4,000 bits is Big Jim 5. Our sub boss is Conscious P for gifting 10 gift subs. Thank you so much.
Oh, hells yeah, hells yeah!
I get so sad that I wanna drink a warm glass of Drano. Night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack, night attack. I love you.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.